Hello travelers. This video is all about where you mount your GPS. As the GPS manufacturers envisioned it, they give us a suction cup. And so the intent is to mount it right there on the windshield with your suction cup attached to the glass. Now, as I understand it, when GPSs came out some years ago, police agencies nationwide got together and they talked about it, and they didn't want it here. They didn't want to obstruct the traffic. They didn't want it to be a safety hazard. Didn't want the thing flying around in the car and hitting people in the head. And anyway, they determined that they wanted it in the lower left-hand corner of your windshield. I'll tell you how long ago this was. This is before the nationwide laws were passed regulating messing with devices while you're driving. A lot of people call that cell phone. No cell phone use while you're driving. But in fact, if you read the law, I can't remember what it says now, but here in California, but it never said cell phones. It said devices. And actually, these GPSs was what led the way. People messing with their GPSs while they were driving and having accidents, but cell phones were close behind it. But anyway, so police agencies nationwide, they all seem to adopt the lower left-hand corner of the windshield. Now, the problem with that is just like this is right now. If you see, I have partial sun, and it bleaches out the picture. And there's ways you can get to driving in certain directions. You'll have full sun on that, and that's unacceptable to me. I just can't stand it that way. I just can't stand looking at it. I can't hardly read it. But so I tried several different things. I tried it up in this corner for a while, but then when you do that, you can't use your visor, and or you'd forget and bring the visor down and knock the damn thing off the ground, off the windshield. Well, that wouldn't work. A lot of people put it right in the center, although that's not where the law wants it. Will you get a ticket for there? I don't know. As I drive on the freeways, I see a lot of people with their GPSs there. So I don't know if the cops don't really care. As long as it's in the lower center, I think it would be all right from a safety perspective. So I don't know if you'd get rid of it or not. Show you another place I have put it in the past. And I've stuck it right there on the... I've stuck the suction cup right there on the mirror. And anyway, it works just fine there. But, like I said, you can't use your rear view mirror. So about the time I got my first one, there was a lot of stories around where people were getting them stolen. This is a lot of years ago. I bet it's 15 years ago anyway. At least 10. Anyway, a lot of stories in the newspaper these days getting stolen, cars getting broken into. So eventually I ran across a story where they were saying that these portable GPSs were the #1 theft item from automobiles worldwide. I thought, wow, worldwide? And I thought to myself, well, yeah, if you got it out, just go ahead and just put it in your glove box. But the article went on to say that's exactly what the crooks look for. Because when you use this suction cup, quite often the inside of your glass is not perfectly clean, and it'll leave a circle. And this article went on to show interviews they had with police officers in London, Mexico City, Moscow, Paris, worldwide. And uh, so they were saying there's a lot of crooks in the world, and what they'll do, they go to shopping center, and they'll just start walking the lot, and they'll look for these circles. And if they see that circle from the suction cup, it's highly likely the device is in the car. So they'll break into the car, and more often than not, sure enough, they will find it in there. So that's another thing I did. I never leave my device in the car, and I always take it out just in case. And but I still wasn't happy with the places that there was. So there's a couple things I wanted to accomplish. One, I wanted it mounted somewhere which was basically more or less out of sight of anybody walking by. And number two, I had to have it where it's out of the sunshine. I even took a piece of cardboard. We use a piece of paper, and I made I don't know what you call that, a visor for it. Yeah, this thing didn't want to cooperate. I folded it around, sort of roughly, and that helped, but it wasn't good enough. And sunshine still got in there at some different angles. That wouldn't work. And finally, I came up with the idea to put it overhead, to put it right up here. And what I did was, I went to the hardware store and I got a piece of thin steel, and these visor mounts are held in place with one screw. And underneath this plastic thing has a square. There's a square hole in the steel roof, and there's a square here, and the thing goes this. So I had to drill a hole, then take a file and file the square corners and get it in there. And so I did that part, and this isn't what I originally used. I had made out of plexiglass. I had a swing down mount, and then when I was got to shopping center, what I would do before I got to the shopping center, I didn't want anybody seeing me tuck this out away, so I'd do it like as I was, which is probably bad, as I'm rolling in, as I'm pulling off the street into the driveway of a shopping center parking lot or something, I'd swing the thing up and then push it over here, just the corner of it, and it would sit up here so no one could see it. And it worked pretty well, except I'm not a very good plastics fabricator, and a lot of my glue joints would give way. And I built several of those for, I had one for my Jeep, and had one for my pickup, had one for my work truck. And but by and by, one day, I was at work, and I was driving, and the damn thing broke in such a way I couldn't fix it. And so what I did was I just took this thing, and it occurred to me that if I stuck it right to here, it would be the right angle. Say if the suction cup is vertical or horizontal up, instead on the windshield, which is a vertical surface, put it on a horizontal, so it would still work just as well. And so I did that, except it's a little too far. I wanted a little closer to my eyes, so I just took a flat piece of plastic here and just shove it underneath this thing, and it works. Now you no doubt notice this cable. Well, this truck is lucky in that it came with 4 auxiliary switches. They're all wired into the breaker box. They're wired into the key, but they don't go to anything. So if you want fog lights on the front of your snowplow or a CB radio, whatever, so I wired it to this one right here, and I went under the hood, under the dash here, under this panel, and I got one of these sockets from the hardware store, auto parts store, and I just went into there and I found the wire, and I wired that, and I got one of those like this that plugs into the lighter and has a USB port. Stuck that on there, and then all this is a USB extension cable, and it goes from here and it goes up the wall here, up through here, then it sticks underneath the the headliner, and I brought it over here and I pulled it out right there, and I plugged my cable in right there. Now what I have been using is this right here. We talked about this in another video. This is the FM traffic information receiver, and there it plugs on the back of the device. Here's power, goes into the outlet here, right there, and then here is the white wire. This is the actual antenna wire. I just stretched it over there, and it was underneath the headliner as well. But with this new unit, I'm not sure I even need to use this. I'm going to use it without to find out. So anyway, so all I got to do is take this thing, put it right there, and there it is. And it's perfect. It's never in the sun, and actually quite often it sits so high. When I'm working, I'll leave it in place, but when I go to lunch, I'll just pop it off there and then stick it in this I got a little cooler I carry with me. It looks like I'm carrying my lunch, but I'm not. I got a digital camera in there, and I got my GPS, a couple extra cables, a little of this, a little of that. So anyway, so that's where I put it in my work truck. This is a Ford Super Duty pickup. Let me show you what I did with my Jeep. Okay, so this is my Jeep JK. It's 2012. Now the Jeep, see, this is molded plastic. So there's no screw to take out. There's no way to put a bar of metal across that. So what I did was, this thing has like a T-top. So these pieces come off. So I took that off, took this piece off here, the roof section. I took this piece off here. Yeah, you gotta come over and take these two bolts off here. The rest of it kind of clips apart and undo the top and so forth. This piece, as I recall, I don't think I ever did get it all the way off. Oh, right there. So you can see how I just bent this piece of metal, put two pop rivets right into the steel frame of the windshield. And let's see if I can set this up for you. I don't know if I can or not. There we go. Put this on my leg. I wonder if anybody's ever used put my finger there. Yeah, okay. So what you do, take your suction cup, take a little spit, wet it. You do wet yours, right? Makes 100% different. Now I found if I put it here at the end, this thing will wiggles and wobbles, so I found to put it up there. Didn't need to be that long, but it's done now. And I just take the cable. I got a little cable dangling, just like in the Super Duty. I perform the same trick. There you go. Now this one's a little big, so it's hitting this a little bit. I guess I need to bring it out a little bit. Well, I can do it right now. Oh, helps if you do that right. There you go. There you go. And there we are. And so it's angled directly towards the driver's eyes. Easy reach. It's out of the way. See, it's above the rear view mirror. So it's not in any obstruction. And you can actually see that while you're looking at this, kind of with your right eye. I end up tapping off this power port. Same thing, except it's behind the glove box. The power port socket. And then again, another extension, and it ran up there, ran around. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but sometimes you look through that speaker grill and you can see that the cable's white. Should have got a black one. And I ran it up and ran the cable along here. And then it dangles. There it is. Okay, so when we got the motorhome, the first thing I did was went looking for a place to mount my GPS. So I looked up at these mirrors, visors, and sure, I could put a bar between them, but it's so high. I really want the GPS here near my eyes somewhere. And there isn't anywhere. So I thought, well, what if we put it right here? And I got my suction cup, and it won't go here because this is what do they call that? It's textured, and it won't grab a suction. And so I tried maybe here or here, but the same thing. This stuff is textured. My GPS did come with this metal disc, and I could put that there, but that might work actually. But I don't know if I don't like drilling holes in my stuff. It has adhesive backing, but it'd be hell to take it off. So what we did for a long time is we put it right here. So then I thought right here on the driver's mirror, and that is pretty close to my my eyes, and but it does get a lot of daylight in here, and I don't like that so much. But we rode with it there for quite some time. But actually, Mrs. RV does most of the driving, and she doesn't really use it that much. So when we travel, I have this tablet here I carry with me. This is the Kindle Fire, and I have my music on it, and I have some books on there, and that's what I use this for. And so anyway, the first couple of times Mrs. RV drove, I kind of held the GPS in my hands. Then one day it occurred to me that this has a nice glass case that would fit just perfectly. And it
Arriving at destination on right.
Oh, it's telling me I'm finally home. So this thing, it worked perfectly right here. And the only thing is, though, this is a touch screen, and so whenever I wanted to change a song or something, or adjust something, it makes it almost impossible. I pretty much had to take it off a few times. So let me show you what my solution was. I was on the right track. So what I did was, I went in my shop and I scrounged around and found myself a nice piece of plexiglass, just like this one here. In fact, this one here. So stick that on there. This thing's nice and heavy, and I don't know what it is about I don't know why this thing won't stick. It's oh, it's over a hole. That's why. Not hit. There you go. So anyway, this stuff here, this vinyl, this stuff doesn't seem to slide on it. At least maybe that's because we drive easy. But anyway, so that's the current solution, is just to put it right there, and I read that while we drive, and I give her directions. And it's been working real well. Now there's one other thing, is right here we have our backup camera, and one of the first things I did to this motorhome when we got it is I determined the name brand of this thing, which is Mobile Vision. And I looked through my my bag of books. You know, every RV comes with a whole bunch of manuals on your refrigerator and your furnace, and in this case our chassis too. And Winnebago provides you with a really nice documents bag. It's all divided, and I have all these documents in there for each thing. And so I pulled the one out for this, and by looking at the repair section, I found a wiring diagram, and I determined that I was able to buy side cameras, and the plugs are dangling back there. All you gotta do is run the wire and plug it in, plug and play, and that's exactly what I did. But while I was on the internet looking for the cameras, I came across the remanufactured section of this company, and I've all told you how much I like remanufactured products. That's what my GPS is. The Kindle isn't remanufactured, mainly because I don't think there was one. I bought one of these Kindle Fires when they first came out, so I can't recall ever having seen an Amazon Kindle reman Kindle. They're probably out there. I just haven't found one. Anyway, so in the reman section, they had something else that's this size, and it fits right in this hole. And what it is, it's an AM/FM stereo receiver with a CD player, which also will play DVD movies. But I don't know who would watch a movie on this thing while you're driving down the highway. We have one in the coach with our big TV. See, we wouldn't never use this for that. But anyway, it's in there. And also, it's a backup camera. It has a screen like this, and it has built-in GPS. And it wasn't a terrible amount of money. It's like $350, and brand new they was about $790. So it's a little under half price. So I thought it was a pretty good bargain. And I just didn't have $350 at the time, and I never have bought the thing. But we got this little stereo here, and it seems to work pretty good. It does have a CD slot. But so you could do that, and then you'd have a dash-mounted GPS with even a bigger screen than what I got. So I'm not sure what that is. That's got to be at least 7. Maybe it's an 8-inch. I'm not sure. But what I found out about these dash-mounted GPS systems, most of the car manufacturers now, they offer one. Ford's got one, Chrysler's got one called Uconnect, Mercedes has one, Lexus. I read the column by Click and Clack, the Tappet brothers. They do auto repair advice in the radio show, and then these guys are pretty smart. They've owned a garage in Massachusetts for decades and decades, and so they know what they're talking about. And so anyway, one of the things that they advised was that these I remember when I was buying my Jeep, I looked at buying the Uconnect system, which is AM, FM, CD, I think it is DVD too, and GPS screen and all that, and they wanted $1,700. And the Ford system, I've looked at it, and it's a terrible amount of money. But because it was a terrible amount of money, you know, it was all I could do to scrape together the 30 grand I paid for my Wrangler. So I chose to go without it, although I wanted it really bad. But Click and Clack told us that what you do on those things, they're really not as accurate, and they don't have all the information, all the points of interest and all that these little portables do. And they said that after you spend all that money, whenever a software upgrade comes along, you have to buy it from the dealer. You can't buy it from like Garmin or Magellan or whoever it is who makes the GPS part of their unit. You have to get it from the dealer, and it's usually $200-300, maybe more. And more often than not, you can't stick it in your laptop, and you can't install it. You have to go to the dealer, and they have to install it. And again, it's going to be $200 or $300. And so Click and Clack said that's stupidly expensive. Like I said, I got this one here for $114, and I can do upgrades by myself. It's the first thing I did. I plugged it in my laptop, and it upgraded all the maps, all the points of interest. The traffic software got upgraded, and so their advice is that those ones you buy from the dealers, they're really not worth their weight in gold. Maybe there's one on the Jaguar or the Mercedes or the Rolls-Royce, which is dynamite, which is a real accurate one, but I'll be billing. All I can guarantee you're going to pay more than you would Chrysler for $200 for the software and $200 installed. I bet it's going to be hell of a lot more than that. So anyway, so Click and Clack was advising, don't even bother with these things. He's like I said, he said the maps and stuff. I watched Top Gear UK, and those guys more than once, they've gotten in a brand new BMW or something, and the nav system, they say it's a piece of shit, and that's really ridiculous when you pay $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 for a fancy ass car, and it's got a piece of shit navigator. You think they could at least cut a hole in the dash, buy one of these and pop it in there. But no, they wouldn't dare do that. They'd cut out. They're the middleman, and they'd get cut out. So anyway, these portables are really valuable, and a lot of people do it on the cell phone. But like I said before, I don't own a cell phone, and everybody carries a cell phone in their pocket. So a lot of people they put a mount on their dashboard, a cell phone mount, and they just leave it in the car, and crooks are less likely to break into those cars, I guess, because they know that people are going to put the cell phone in their purse, in their pocket, and walk away. They're not likely to leave it inside the car. So, I don't know. But I still like these devices, mainly because I don't carry a cell phone. I don't want to be disturbed. You want to talk to me? Send me an email. Okay. So that's how I do my GPS. And maybe it'll be helpful to you. If nothing else, it'll be entertaining. Okay. See you on the next one.